We're a few minutes past 6 o'clock, so welcome everybody to, I guess, the voting meeting, we'll call it, for the budgets. We all want to read this disclaimer again to say this is an electronic meeting. It's necessary to protect public health, safety, and welfare in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. I will remind everybody, when you do speak, I think last time it was tough hearing all the audio from on the outside. So speak into the microphone the best you can and as loud as possible. That way it's all clear and there's no issues if somebody was to protest that or didn't feel like it was meeting the rules and guidelines for our Open Meetings Act. So what we'll do normally is I did the COVID thing. Yeah. Miss Susie's not here. She's going to be taking some notes. Isaiah probably take some roll on these on the vote, so he should be good to go. And I'll let him start off with the roll, please.
Just answer present if you're present. If you're not present, don't answer. Willie Campbell.
Present.
Patty Woodman.
Present.
Mark Tester. Present. Isaiah Grindstaff. Present. Ross Garland.
Present.
Travis Hill. Present. Aaron Frazier.
Present.
Molly Goff. Present. All 8 members.
We do have Mr. Frazier is on the virtual end of this, so he is present. Normally in years past, we've always, Brad has got some new handouts. I think he's got one sheet that's been highlighted with a few changes on it. Those. And basically, we'll just kind of follow along this packet, open it up to, I think it starts, let's see, about page 2, I believe, is our outside agencies. And before we start making any votes, I'll just kind of open it up if there is any discussion or if anybody would like to bring anything more out. I think we did a pretty good job last Monday night of kind of whittling this stuff down, looking at it pretty close. I know there was a few, I think we were kind of still up in the air on. We do have quite a few people in attendance that can talk those through. Glad they're here to be able to do that. Mr. Ken Gooch, he's on the line as well. That's what we do, talk sports and recreation fund. So. Yes, Roger's on there, and he was, of course, wanting to talk that grant money. I think he called me today and asked for the opportunity to just to be recognized when we do get to that. We can start with, if there's no discussion, or anybody would like to say anything, Brad, you got anything, or we should be aware of on the back or notes or anything like that. Normally we would just go down through there. We can approve outside agencies at one time, unless we're not in agreement on one. We can change that at this time. It's not set. It can still be revised, edited, whatever you'd like to say, and just go through department by department when we get to general fund that way. So the first item is our outside agencies. We worked on those pretty good the other night. I think got a pretty good idea of how have questions, I guess I'll open it up for a motion. There will be discussion in a second on that. We can talk about it.
Motion to accept the outside agencies as presented.
We got a motion by Mr. Frazier here, second.
Second.
Second by Willie Campbell, and you can see the request, adjusted request. This was. I guess, Brad, you did make those changes on the left side of what we talked about the other night. So that'd be a total of $1,031,341. Is there any discussion on that, or any edits or anything you'd like to present at this time?
Did we ever hear anything out of the Imagination Library?
Okay, got that in there.
Ross, is this a time for me to speak up? This is Ken Googe.
Hey, Ken, no, right now, we're on the outside agencies. We can get to you here in just a couple minutes, but, we'll work this one out right now. You're not included in this.
All right, thanks. I never know if I'm inside or outside, so
Well, we'll bring that up in just a few minutes. Okay? Thanks for joining us, Ken.
thank you.
But if no discussion on that, I'll let Mr. Grindstaff.
I'm gonna ask for, anybody willing to cut 2,500 from ARM and 2,500 from senior citizens? An additional 5,000 out. And both of we get a $2,500 increase.
I know we had a pretty good discussion.
Which two, ARM, and which one, Travis?
Senior citizen center,
Still get the increase.
they're both still be getting a $2,500 increase.
Are you looking to move that somewhere else or just take it out?
Ross,
Yes.
I'm having trouble hearing some of the people there in the meeting room. Could they move their microphones a little closer?
We'll just have to speak up and speak directly to the speaker there because I was going to ask that. You guys on the outside can't hear us clear enough, but we do need to speak up.
Yes, please do, because having trouble.
Okay. How about you, Aaron? You good?
Nah, we're good. I've got earbuds in.
Okay. All right. So the question was brought up to take 25 from ARM and senior citizens. You want to consider that?
I'll consider it if you give it to the Elizabeth Fire Department. Otherwise, no.
I'll find out.
Take it to reduce it.
Yes. You know, they are getting an increase. But look at their projected income, it, you know, that is still helping all these agencies quite a bit.
We've got two that would consider that.
If we do, I mean, I'm not against it, if we do that, I would like to be able to reach out to each one of them, let them know if they did need something, that they needed to have it, that we're not saying that they can come, budget committee and bring those concerns forward, but just that, didn't want them to think it's a hit next year, you know?
Okay, yeah.
I agree. That's good.
Want to give any of that 5,000 savings to the consideration of the city of Elizabeth Fire Department? I think we do have agreements on taking 2,500 from each of those ARM and senior citizens. That will be applied anywhere else.
Hey, Ross.
Yeah.
I'll accept Travis's amendment to the motion, but I do think that we leave the caveat in that they are able to come back if they do find themselves in a different situation based on lack of fundraising and stuff like that. Both of those organizations, especially.
Okay. Well, Patty, she mentioned that.
That's what I just said, Aaron.
You just kind of,
Yeah. I heard that, but I'm just reinforcing that yes, that I agree.
as long as there's enough cord, that's the only thing.
Abby, can we move the table up any, or is that a no?
You can move it up where the
It
access,
starts missing the,
it won't pick up Williams Grant,
okay.
so we'll just be flat.
With the reduction, Brad, if you've done that number, I could do it real quick, but just to get an official.
Road 126,341.
All right, so we've got an amended motion from Travis, and Aaron was, with that amendment, Willie, will you go with that, amended motion right there? A total of $1,026,341. Isaiah, if you'll call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Yes.
Martin Tester. Ross Starkey. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Kelly Collins. 7 ayes, 1 no.
All right, motion carries, thank you. We'll move next to, we've got Benny here, we're going to single his out since he's in with single budget. And that is, it says 68, but I know that's not right. Where is it?
What page is reading on?
On page 68.
So it is, that's right. And there is table of contents that Brad's got laid out there. I think we'll follow along now. Those specific budgets. So that would be page 69 would be the, where's the this one too? So 68, 69, recycling center. All those total up somewhere, Brad, like in one.
Yeah, they're on 68.
So it is 60, okay, all right. So we're looking at 1.6, 30, 525 right there. That's the total. Okay, and the question we did have, Benny, I know you're here, and if you will, if you speak up into the microphone, or you may want to grab this seat right here, it'd be great.
I know you can have a spot for that.
Yeah.
Chairs for chairs.
And I think the big question really on yours was the addition of 2 employees, Benny.
Yes.
So we kind of talked about that, you know, we've had a lot of departments come back with cuts, and I know you've maybe even more cuts since the last time we spoke. I think we're just trying to see if we know you need some help. I don't think we're able to do 2 employees, but if there's some way that we can give you the money for 1 person, if that would help you enough. Maybe figure out where you need it most, or, you know, but that was kind of the main concern on yours.
Guys, it'll help. One person will help, but we're at the point where we're running through overtime like it's not even there. As far as trying to keep things going. And we're doing way more now than we did last year. And if we can't get that other employee, I guess some of the commissioners are going to have to start volunteering to help us. Give us a day a week, maybe. I hate to be that way.
Well, I mean, that was the question, if it can be done, if we can cut that, 1 salary out, but make it sound like that's not possible. That was really what.
We operate 6 days a week up there. We're not like your general highway department. We operate 6 days a week. We're not like the planning office. We're 6 days a week where some of these people aren't. So we have to have people there on Saturdays.
And this would be 1 position for each.
One at recycle and 1 at the landfill. And I have went back and cut my budget, I think for maybe what, the third or fourth time, Brad? And, I do look to come to you in January because we're out of money to, figure out something.
Yeah, well, and I think we understand that with kind of unknown uncertainty on, revenues coming in and how things, businesses operating, everything like that is kind of unknown. So I think we would be in 6 months could address that possibly.
Are you all gonna take the stand?
We are going to talk about that at our June meeting, and we have already talked about that, March, I don't think we've met since March, but, we talked about it in March, and it's supposed to come back to the floor, in April, so, that is already on the table as far as increasing, some of our disposal fees.
How much are you thinking and how much do you think it'll bring in? Kind of estimate.
Ms. Collins, I don't have an estimate right now. I know the board has thrown around 50 to 75 cents a ton. Because even though we raise our rates, we still got to be able to play ball with the landfills in Johnson City, the landfills in Bristol. We can't price ourselves out of business.
Look at this, it's got the one new employee in recycling in Canada. And then over here on land operations, laborers, it's got 4 EES, 2 EE charges 1920, so you're having 2 more there.
No, Brad, can you explain that?
Okay, they moved, 2 moved to a new category from a different line item. They were, the equipment operators that were included in 2021 were down in attendance. It decreased by 84,000. One of those went to a truck driver. Then the additional employee is a truck driver, right?
Yes, sir.
I know we've talked about trustee help, and I know you've used them before, and that's not really what we want to fall back on. Just as far as Chief Parrish was here and Captain Smith, is there chances that those guys can come free or have some more help from them in the near future?
I think in the past, we've been providing roughly 2 and 2.
It's generally 5 in the summer.
In the past, we've been providing roughly 5 trustees, and we'll work very, very hard to provide with 5 trustees, but it really depends upon the pool of inmates that we have in the jail that we can send out. If they're drug-free, if they're nicotine-free, if they're physically able to work, and we know they're not going to run off. He and the animal shelter, they get first pick, and that's even before we take care of the trustees around the department, because they've always depended upon, we know that he's short, and he needs that help. But our labor is non-certain. I mean, some days, some weeks or months, we could give him 7, but you get in the middle of the winter when we have a low trustee count or a low inmate count, he may not get 2. I really don't know how to answer that, other than I know he needs some certainty in his labor pool. We can provide him help, but no certainty.
All right, thank you. Then on your equipment and machinery parts, you've got 52.5. Where do you plan on buying this year?
Machinery parts,
Equipment and machinery parts.
that's pretty much a line item for parts only, and that's a new line item that's been added. Is that right, Brad? We've had several new line items added to our budget. Travis, in our operation, you never know if you're going to spend $100 a day or if you're going to spend 10,000. We just had to buy an engine for a truck. I think it's around $5,500. Every time we put it in, it's another $5,000 to get it put in, pulled out another truck. So we would a $10,000 drop right there. So with what we do up there, it's not cheap.
Right. One more question. I know everybody anxious to get to this $900,000 for the state stock, but on these building repairs, Brad, is there anything that can be used as a capital expense that we can use that money for?
What's it gonna be used for? Being maintenance and repair building?
The building repairs is,
20,000 new.
we've got to repair the back walls of the transfer station per the state. And when he's pushing against it, he's pushing trash to the outside. They don't want that at all. We've been wrote up once about it. So, we've got to repair that, and we've got to repair the chute that you dump off into, to bring this transfer station back up to safe operating capacity.
I'm just trying to think of ways we can free up some money. I don't know if how are we planning on doing that, Brad? Are we going to plan on using this, or just go back and kind of amend the budget once we figure out how we're going to use it?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
Are we planning on budget, the stuff is budgeted, are we going to use that money for that, or do we need to take that out and do it like a separate budget then at the end of the new year after we figure out what $900,000 we're going to use it for?
Yeah, that'll be a separate.
Okay. So I mean, should we take some of this out, if you will, and say, I mean, I'm just throwing ideas out.
I mean, we do, of course, it depends on where that's approved or not. And the plan for those funds.
We can't even really set those monies aside until after July, correct?
You can decide what you're gonna do with them, but they can't be spent until July 1st.
So I can tell you here, we've discussed, the trustee manager as well for almost 4 years now. And we've always just passed, I mean, I know that this is an easy budget year. We're a lot better off than I think what we thought we might be. But you never know what's going to happen in the future. But this is something we passed off for 8+ years. But same thing with land.
Let me explain something to you, all that you may not understand about my budget. The closed landfill that the city county ran together many years ago, we were having to maintain that landfill. They didn't put no money aside when they ran that landfill to maintain it. So that being said, when vehicles comes across the gate, the scale, some of that money goes to maintain the old closed landfill that was never took care of when it should have been took care of. That is laid upon us to take care of now. We have to mow it 2 times a year. We have to test it 4 times a year, as well as haul leachate out of there. Leachate's not expensive, $600 every time that truck leaves. This week, he's left twice a day. So that's expensive. We pay for that with what comes through the gate. County gives us nothing to pay for that. So that's something that you might want to consider, as well as running the recycle center. That is a mandate by the state. The county gives us no money to run the recycle center. So that's something you may want to consider going forward, is figuring out something to run the recycle center and take care of the burden that was there before we started what we're doing now.
That, what Penny's talking about, the cost for the closed landfill is what, you all voted on Monday night, that, financial assurance state promising to, do what it takes to take care of that post-closure cost.
And a big jump in utilities, what was that from getting you that?
That is, the utilities would probably be at the recycle center, where we moved from a dungeon to having actual working plumbing, water, sewer.
Yeah.
And that's an unknown because we've never had it before.
Mm-hmm.
That's a crazy question about what's wire, line on wire.
Wire there is, what we build cardboard products with.
Thank
I do think a big part of the situation is on the revenue side. It definitely needs to come up to meet the increases that have occurred over the years in all the expenditures. And it's not there currently.
And that's something that, I think I've been over the landfill about 12 years now. We've never had an increase, as far as the gate rate increase. You know, take it on the city, we will have an increase every year from them, because it's in the contract. But they're at a totally different rate than what the public is, so as far as the public goes, we've never had an actual increase since I've been there.
Do you know what the difference is in a ton between you and Johnson City?
We're dead on. Except for they have a minimum, we don't. They have a 2-ton minimum, we don't have a minimum. And we're actually drawing quite a bit of business from over there because they can come to our facility
Less than a 2-ton.
and pay, they have a half a ton and they pay, $21.72. So versus a 2-ton minimum.
That's what you're talking about, pricing us out of business.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And you've got 2 landfills within, EcoSafe is within 20 miles of our location. Waste Management Landfill in Johnson City is about 11 miles. So a lot of you commercial haulers that comes in, Blue Ridge, those folks, if they can go over there cheaper, that's where they're gonna go, and we'll lose that revenue.
All right, any other questions or anything y'all see or what we can do? Travis made a point with the equipment and machinery. It's, that amended last year, 21.5. And I know you go through all kinds of equipment and parts and just everything to keep your equipment running. Is there some way to take some of that out or some of these lines to where we can make both employees where you work? That's just kind of.
Guys, I'll work with you any way you just want to. You just tell me where you just want to try to take it.
Well, I would like to see you get both employees. I mean, if you need that much help, that, if you don't think you can operate efficiently without them, then, but I don't think that, what is that total increase for employees? 7,000 or something like that?
What was that, Brad?
69 maybe? I'm just trying to find ways to kind of work this out.
I think like the chairman, I mean, if I open up a recycling center and start moving some product, I don't really have a problem supporting that. And I can't speak for everybody here, but I mean, any office holder, I'm not opposed to going back 6 months from now if you need something.
You stated open the recycle center. Recycle center is closed really because of the virus, because with the plastics, you deal with that hands-on. And I don't want my guys or the trustees dealing with that hands-on. It stays on plastic 3 to 5 days. I don't want them dealing with it. To take a chance of getting them guys sick. So with plastic, I prefer not to do plastic for a while. Cardboard, we can get it with a machine, take care of it. Paper, we can get with a machine, take care of it. We can open the recycle center back up. We have been currently doing what the county has dumpsters out for as far as cardboard, with your residents, with your restaurants, stuff like that. We've currently been doing that, maintaining it. The schools where they're giving out food for the kids, we maintain those dumpsters. We just, the general public dumpsters we have closed as far as for plastic and stuff like that, because I really don't want to deal with it right now and take a chance on hurting somebody.
How about the drop-off spots? Can you open those back up to cardboard?
We can open them for cardboard.
I don't know if there's enough there to bring any money, but.
There is, cardboard, I just told Brad today, cardboard has went from $15 a ton up to $130 a ton. So that's a big jump. must be making a lot of toilet paper or something, but, so that's what it's went for.
Because those still up pretty fast now.
Oh, yeah,
Is there any way possible to move some of the plastics out right now, or cardboard and things?
We don't have, I mean, we can use those dumpsters. Those dumpsters are all city dumpsters down there at the drop-off centers. Danny's put signs on them and we take care of them. So those are his dumpsters. If he wanted to re-sign them, that would be kind of up to Danny. But, all the ones in town are Danny's. Ours are at the convenience centers and at the landfill. And, but we maintain them all.
I got to come by, I would think most people in the city probably throwing in trash can right now.
Well, and the thing about our dumpsters is a lot of people don't care what they put in there on. They don't. If they had to come and go through it one time, they probably wouldn't ever do it again.
Yeah.
Roughly, what do you make a year on plastic?
Plastic is 3 cents a pound. It takes a whole lot of plastic to make a pound, really. We can send a truckload out and it not bring, by the time the freight and everything's figured, it don't bring, $350 for a truckload of plastic. That's usually 28, 29 bales of plastic, all you can get on a tractor trailer. It don't bring much at all. Your cardboard and your paper is your money makers, as well as your aluminum cans. Those are your money makers.
When I was getting at, the governor says this thing, and even the president says this thing could go on for another 4 years, maybe on up to 5.
I know all the locations around us, Johnson City, they quit doing plastic wholeheartedly. Sullivan County's quit doing plastic, and I think I've seen where Kingsport has decided to quit doing, stop plastic. So they're not doing it.
How much, Jenny, back to the cardboard, if the city opened those back up, how much on a typical week, how many tons you think you could bring in?
The way I look at the cities is by bale. Generally, the bales weigh 1,400 to 1,650 pounds. We'll probably get out of the 3 dumpsters that we've got, 3 locations for the city, we'll probably get somewhere around 4 or 5 bales a week. Our big cardboard producers is Waste Management, our convenience centers.
At least 3 tons a week.
Oh yeah, yeah.
About $400 gross.
Chairman Garland, Brad Johnson.
Hello, Brad.
Good evening, you all. I have don't be laughing here. I've got to compete with Willie there. So the big thing is that you look at over the past 3 or 4 years and you notice that your revenues are in the red. And now you're even considering adding reoccurring costs to something in the red. By Benny's statement there, they hadn't had increase on the scales and all in 12 years. Why not? You need to increase the user's fee to bring this back into line. Either that or cut services. Now, the plastic issue there, bringing so little, it looks like that's operating in the red. We're going to go with a fine-tooth comb because what we're getting ready to face, economy-wise, revenue-wise, next year is a total unknown. It's a guessing game. But the thing is, you can't afford to get caught with your pants down because it's really going to hit hard when you have to go back to the public when they are in bad shape, unemployed, their incomes and everything else. I think it needs to be cut either in services or increase in fee, and everybody has to bite it all along. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That being said, you're increasing $362,117. That's correct? If
Yeah.
how much, with the way you've been taking it in, how much of an increase would it cost to break even and still be able to fund that?
Mr. Tester, I'll have to figure that out, but we have a couple of different pay scales up there. The city is, on the lower end. Then, some of them we do it by the amount of tonnage they bring in per month. So we've got several different, pay scales up there. The city is the only one that we can't fluctuate on. But everything else we can.
Do you happen to have any idea of the amount of tonnage other than minus the city that comes into that dump every year? Ballpark?
Yeah, somewhere around 15,000, I think. That may be high. I had that printed off today at work. We've been working on this. I had that printed off.
I'm back on $7,500.
Talking about. All right, yes, Sandra.
I can tell you that I've been there when they've talked about an increase, and it's a hoopla. Because the first thing they're going to start saying is that people are going to dump it on the side of the road if you start increasing prices. And I'm talking about commissioners, not public.
Well, I think they need to understand kind of the position we're in as far as the revenues that we need to fund this budget, and should probably take a little better stance on, might need to take that into consideration soon.
Well, we have been considering it. We'll continue to consider it, but just want you to be aware of what the reaction usually is.
Business, in the business world, if you don't break even or make money, you close the doors.
Let me say something on that too. In the business world also, you're not paying for something that happened years past, that they didn't put nothing back to take care of themselves on. And that's not any of you all. Because we are paying for that closed landfill that nobody had the forethought to take care of it.
Trying to work it out, too, but, you know, the unknowns on recycling, we may not take the plastics, and we still need that person and that much help down there to keep it running.
Recycling is a roller coaster. It has been ever since I've been here. It'll go up, it'll come down. And it's done that ever since I've been operating. It's unknown.
I think we don't let you really, basically free money, we can make money on. Yeah. And like, right on the edge of the landfill. The losing revenue. I can't afford to lose revenue.
Any ideas on anything else? Budget's there.
Pete, what was the situation a few years ago about trying to get out of the landfill business?
We had looked at that. But then again, that's where the closed landfill comes into play. We still have to maintain it. So somebody's still got to pay for it. And if we get out of the business, we don't have that money coming in to pay for it. I mean, we looked at it several years ago. Letting somebody come and operate a transfer station. If they do that, they set their prices. You don't set them. So that's something I mean, we can look at that.
Because of the way it's looking, it's going to continue to get deeper in a deficit. And I understand that you're in a hard position. You know, the recycling going down a pretty good amount. And costs going up, and no prepayment. So.
And we're unique to any of the other counties. Most all your other counties are on tax roll, where they fund their solid waste program. They fund the recycle program. We're one of the only ones that's pay as you go.
Has that been looked at ever for us?
It was brought up, March meeting, from one of our commissioners about putting it on the tax roll. That's something you can look at.
That would require the fund to be self-sufficient instead of having the cushion from the general fund to fund that deficit. I would think.
So how's the other landfills do it self-sufficient if they get funded by the county?
Some of them do get funded from the general fund. No, Uniport County does.
Washington County, Sullivan County,
I'm not sure about Washington.
they, the commission puts money into their program every year. And we're one of the only ones that is expected to self-operate.
Right now, the deficit for 2021 projected deficit is roughly 3 cents on the tax rate. And for 1920, the estimate is 3.5 cents on the tax rate.
What would happen if the commission said, no, we're not buying recycling center? We don't have nothing to fund us, we're opening back up.
That's exactly right. That's a mandate by the state that we have to operate. We don't have a choice.
How many more useful years we got in landfill before we have to?
Been around in the neighborhood of about 6, as far as in the demolition side.
The current landfill you're talking.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
I think you have 10 left on the closed landfill, right? 2030.
You can't bank on that. Some of the ones in Middle Tennessee has done met that. They've done met their 30 years, and they're still having to keep doing what they're doing as far as leachate, taking care of it. The state's not letting them out of it.
Because it's not safe or?
It's not that it's not safe, the state is not going to take on the burden after you're done with it. So they're not letting them out of it. They're making them still maintain it and take care of it, even though they passed their 30 years.
Austin, I think, had his hand raised there. Speak up louder, come this way.
So I'm just kind of picking up a bit of pieces and trying to fill me in. So the two includes in there, they need for the recycle center. I said, so I'm trying to pick up on bits and pieces of this. Is the two employees you need, are they for the recycle center or what are they?
One at recycle and one at the landfill.
One's recycle, one's landfill. What are, so do you just not have enough people to operate the recycle? Is that what?
No, we don't.
Well, I know you kind of operate on skeleton crew, don't you? What is that? What's is that because you're taking on so much recycle, or is that people bringing stuff in, or is that we've got too many dumpsters out? What?
No, we're taking on. We took on way more in the last year than we've ever done through the recycle program. And it's just by people starting to know and understand recycling, they're using it more.
Brad, I guess you ought to be able to answer. Are we going in? Are we making money on recycle every year, or are we kind of going in the hole at the moment? Where are we at? We need it.
We've shut down for 6 months this year, so we're.
Well, I know this year's not good representation, but.
Budget recycling next year is 143,601, and the revenue, adjusted revenue from recycling is 75,000.
So could we maybe, if we picked up and done fewer cans, would that help it on y'all? I mean, because they're not, I know they're not allowed to come to the facility and drop off anymore, are they? So would that make it a little easier if we maybe done away with one of the, what is that beside the?
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not, because what they're gonna do if they don't have a place to recycle, they're gonna go to Mill Street. So it's not gonna really change the process.
Okay, well, that's another.
If you just take one out.
Well, I guess here's the flip side, that's what I'm getting at. And it's six in one pen, half a dozen in the other. But if we don't fund it on the tax roll, then, and we're recycling outside of the city, then we need to go to the city and say, hey, we might need a little money to help with this if we're going in the hole on it. I mean, that's kind of, if we're making money, then glory be, but if we're not making money and we're providing service for the entire county and city residents, then we're gonna have to kind of feel like them. We're gonna have to work together with it. You know, I guess my point that I'm getting around to is that might be something you might be able to request in their budget, see if they can't help out a little bit to put some money in, you know, because we have, how many sites do you have in the city?
We've got three. We've got one behind McDonald's, one at Lions Field, and one at the Public Housing Project.
How many?
We've got Little Milligan, Rome Mountain, and Glenville.
So we're running 50/50 essentially. That might be something to look at. County can't come up and fund it all together.
And we keep all the funds from everything. City don't get none of the funds.
Well, but I mean, we're not, if what Brad's saying is accurate, then we're not even breaking even, so we're not, you know, it's more, I think, in my feelings of providing the service for the residents to try to help keep the area clean, than it is of making the money.
You're gonna ask the city residents to pay more since they're already paying their county tax part.
I mean, I don't recycle, I'll just be honest with you, I throw my dumpster, put trash bin, so, you know.
Well, that just fills up the landfill faster though.
Well, but I pay for it, so, you know, but that's the other side of it.
We're paying for it too by having to maintain, like we're having to maintain that for what, 30 years?
Back there was part of the city.
Oh, yeah, one time.
Do we not seek any?
The city does pay us half of what we do. Everything we do up there, the city pays us half of it. As far as the closed part of the landfill, they pay us half. So, we charge them for the trips we make, they pay half of that. But we still have to come up with our part of it that comes out of our day-to-day operations.
What do we think? We'll try to, are we some way to give them both employees, or we want to do one employee and kind of need to kind of narrow it down?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I believe Benny can answer this question. Prior to the fire, prior to the pandemic, the recycling center was doing all right. Is that correct, Benny?
Yes, ma'am.
So you've had two major things happen in the last 12 months that really should not be considered in the recycle budget.
Maybe if we
Thank
get
you.
tripled up on the cardboard, because the money's so good right now on it, with that.
I'm sure Danny would be willing.
You know, if we can get in and Waste Management's gonna start coming back Monday, I've been talking to them. So they're gonna start coming back, bringing us more cardboard because they're begging for it right now. So the more we can push to them, the more we're gonna make.
You're gonna need help though.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So numbers wise, you know, the recycle center, I don't know that the numbers that we're looking at, you know, there's not much of an increase there. $42,000 between last year and this year, right? Probably gonna be the numbers right. Last year's budget 101,221, budget for next year 143,601. I mean, by far the biggest change is that $362,117 on the land. So, I mean, I don't think that recycling center wise, I don't think the recycling centers are issue. I think that the $362,000 increase in the landfill side, I think is accurate. I don't think producing services or cutting services or moving stuff, moving people around from here to there is going to solve anything. I think the recycling center, what you say, what, $75,000, what we pulled in from the recycling center last year?
Last year was 95.
So $95,000, I mean, you know.
That's the whole year, because we didn't even get going till.
That would have been
Well, we were out for how long?
2019 year.
Yeah.
It would have been 2019 year. Now, since
Probably would have been more.
Yeah, I mean, that's six grand,
Yeah.
difference.
So it's,
So I mean, that's what we need to concentrate on landfill side.
Right on the landfill, would some of the increase be because of the city coming in? So
Absolutely.
that's gonna be around how much?
Average is about 20, the cost associated with a ton of trash is $24.
Is that where the disposal fee increase is? That's where those expenditures are.
That includes labor and fuel and wear and tear.
And that's why that went up 200 and something.
The disposal cost?
Yeah. So
That is,
Yeah, the increased tonnage because you have more trucks running too, don't you?
oh yeah, we've got, and see, even before last year's budget, we bought a trucking company that we're operating now, as well as more trips in the cities coming in. So, you know, a lot of our cost has went up with some of the stuff we bought. But we should be saving on money going out as far as the trucking business goes.
Or cardboard dumpsters across town hill. We used to have one City Hall, now it's gone.
Well, that was coming back.
Okay.
The dumpsters that's, the dumpsters that's sitting out around the city that the city has pulled, they are coming back. Those were actually pulled when the fire happened. And the city just didn't get around to putting them back out before the pandemic happened. So some of those are coming back out, and those are ran on a weekly route by a dedicated truck driver that's there right now.
You have to have a specific dumpster for that though, otherwise they'll put everything in it.
Well,
Recently,
they all got slots in the door that hopefully people would break them down and put them in there.
Well, I walked down there at the river and,
But they don't.
no. they
You're
don't.
right.
Yeah,
And
I
that's all.
tried to push a couch in that little
That's
hole.
exactly right.
Literally, I'm not,
But,
they really did.
Guys, if you've got some ideas we want to try to take off, I don't have a problem with it.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking, when you just mentioned that. I've got some asterisks besides some large increases. I mean, if we save, one employee's salary, about 35 or something like that.
Benefits and everything, I think so.
If we cut just some of those lines to get 35, and that way we can take that out and basically makes up your employee. I don't know if everybody's up for that, but just thinking of ways, I mean, it sounds like you need the help, and
how much does one of those cardboard dumpsters cost if we had to buy it?
They're $900.
When I managed Pals, Johnson City approached us about they were gonna charge us to come recycle our cardboard. So I know Pals probably don't know different dumpsters, they go through a lot of cardboard.
We do rent those type dumpsters out now, the 8-yard. We rent those out on $40 a month for the folks around town that rent some businesses. Those are $40 a month for recycle.
I think some of these restaurants probably, most of them probably just going in the dumpster.
And honestly, we've got dumpsters at a lot of your restaurants, Bojangles, Captain D's, Chick-fil-A.
Maybe not, I'm not hurt to get one to see if Pals or Pizza Hut let's take their parking lot.
Primos, we've got them at a lot of your restaurants now. I think I have approached Pals before. They've got to go through corporate in Kingsport or somebody, and it nothing ever happened.
I could probably check into that as long as they would have to pay for it. We could pay for the dumpster, basically, we could then do it with cardboard.
New restaurants right there.
I mean, everything comes in pallets in a box.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'd say Pizza Hut too.
And Pizza Hut's got a dumpster.
Oh, they
Oh,
do.
yeah, we service them. Yeah, we service, like I say, we got most of the restaurants in town, Taco John's, we got, I think Taco Bell, yeah, we got Taco Bell too.
I'll reach out to Tom Crosby and see what.
Those sends theirs back.
they
They don't do no outside. They send theirs back.
The only problem with that is, they don't get other business around, right?
Yeah.
It really, yeah. Can't do one, you wouldn't do for others.
where you want to start at, but we'll start. I mean, seriously.
Is there something on here that's not gonna be on here next year? Because, I mean, like, talking about the, wall you're gonna have to build.
Like the wall, where we get it built, it should last us another 7 or 8 years. I don't know, it lasts 12 years, but it's, we're putting a lot more through it now.
20,000 you were talking about maybe. I wrote that down, I don't know where it is on here. I'm not saying that you don't have to have it, I'm just saying. Nobody likes to dip into, but.
I don't think they'll come with recycling for you though. That is first, right now.
How many you got down at the recycling center? You think we got one?
I've got one full timer and a part timer.
Way I look at it, talking about adding more recycling, got one full-time employee, one part-time. Huh? So I mean, the way I look at it, you got one full-time employee and one part-time employee, you want to add more recycling stuff, and trustees are, I mean, you're gonna have to add something.
You gotta think that one's probably driving the truck every day going back and forth, so.
Actually, he's not. He's there running it takes 3 people to operate without sorting anything. You gotta have somebody on the forklift, somebody on the baler, somebody on the bobcat, somebody on the baler. Somebody making sure you got your trash and all that stuff pulled out.
Well, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not, I don't know. Certain times of the year.
If it's anything like it was from when we opened in February, to when we shut down. With time we shut down.
I'm not, this year's different, I was just thinking if it were to slow down, that employee could go work the landfill part, if possible.
And I do have them come work.
Well, that's what I
do
thought,
have
yeah.
them now come up there and help us out.
Well, that's what I thought.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
can you hear me?
I sure can. Who we got?
This is the mayor.
Hi, Mayor.
Hey, if we could give him a little bit of help, I think I could help him. I'm chairman of the First Tennessee Human Resource. Hey, we could probably maybe get some part-time help through that. Benny, you had that before, correct?
Yes, sir, we did, and they just quit coming for some reason.
Okay. But I could check into that too. If we could get you a little help, that would help some, wouldn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because
Free help.
I think that's like 29 hours a week. We don't pay anything. They cover all the insurances and everything, is what I understand. So
Free help, and it's I think it's retirement age folks. Now, we've used them before, and they did well for us.
I guess it depends on who you get, really, on something like that. Is this the new salary for that? Is that going from part-time to full-time, the difference, or is this keeping the part-time going?
The one at Recycle will go full-time, and then I'll hire part-time.
Or possibly could use.
Or use
that help right there.
I don't think you have but a choice to keep that additional full-time employee at the recycling center. Yes, especially if you're willing to look at expanding out and stuff of that nature.
I mean, we made a big investment last year with the new facility, and I think we want to, it's a good operation. People they do recycle for us businesses, and it does make money as long as the money's good.
People is really, I mean, they stepped up and started using recycling. They call us every day. I mean, people wants to do it.
Well, I think the schools need to be in on it a whole lot
And
more.
the schools, you know,
Well,
they
I
do
know
it
we
for,
could do more. You got us those recycling tubs, what, 5 or 6 years ago?
the Placer.
We don't know what happened to them. members make that, the school board members too, for that matter, make that. I mean, that just throws away money to
We
me.
put bins in every classroom in the city and the county. 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah. The end of the summer, we never got them back, so I don't know.
We didn't
Don't know
cover
what
it
happened.
all.
No, I know, no, I'm pretty sure I know they might have ended up in somebody else.
Mr. Chairman,
I think so.
this is Sandra. Those containers came from the litter grant. So the litter grant should be able to get some more of those for all the schools.
All right, we'll get Captain Smith on that.
I think if it's just explained to the principals a little bit more clear that this is, we're throwing money away
Yes.
here that we've got to have, maybe would spark a little more interest.
The other capital outlet, 799 under Lakeville, is that where you were planning to do
Is that under the 55754?
Yeah. All the way down to the bottom, to the solid waste room?
Yeah, I had what, 15,000 in there?
Yeah. Is that where you're planning on doing the repairs out of?
Yes, sir. That and the other line item here, maintenance and repair services of the building. This one here, I would be more comfortable taking,
That's 78.
on the maintenance and repair services of the building, we'd drop it down to 10, that'd take off, what, 20,000?
What are you looking to do with that 7,800? Which piece is that?
Where you at?
The maintenance and repair of the 335.
That would be the back wall we got in place. And then the chute was gonna be the other capital outlay. But what I can do is some of the stuff that comes later on in the year, like the second mold, I can get by with that till later.
So you think you could cut the 335?
Yes, sir. We'll take $20,000 off of that.
This is more zero now.
It should be 30 right now. It's 20 right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, do this.
Okay, proposed 20, yeah.
Yep. Take 10 out of it. Take 5 out of evaluation and testing. And take 10 out of the line item 336.
Benny, what about, number 412, diesel fuel? I noticed it went up $20,000.
Brad, you want to explain on that? It is.
If you look at this year, the estimate this year is almost 78,000 some odd dollars. So it was under budgeted last year, or 1920.
Possibly still be 10,000 short then. If he's going by what? Maybe, I mean,
And that comes from the Elizabeth contract running more stuff, and the truck.
Oh, yeah.
The additional truck, yeah. So that's generally expected.
Jump on down to the equipment machinery parts, 418, that's double right there, I don't know. If that can be cut or not.
Yeah, I mean, we cut her in half until mid-year and see what we look
Well,
like.
and I think, of course, just kind of kicking the can down the road a little bit, but, you know, maybe if you don't need it, that'd be great, but, I mean, we don't want to put you in a bind and then just have to go back every time.
And I think the reason that double is there again, we took on 5 trailers, 3 tractor and trailers. So that may be why that line item budget, you know, jumped so much.
What we kind of matched basically on what the 1920 estimate, 43,786, why we made it 42,500. It's 52,500, we make it 42,500. So it's not $10,000. That'd be basically pushing what your estimate for this year.
That's fine.
I know there's tires and tubes also being for that $14,000.
That was a new line item this year, right, Brad?
If you look at actual for 1920, 28,500. It was under budgeted last year or this year.
And tires and tubes, or tires, we don't use many tubes, but we go through them left and right on in out landfill. And that's talking about the trailer tires, because the trailer tires don't ever go in our landfill. Blunt, when you go in out there, they bust. They'll cut the sidewalls out of them. So we're constantly putting tires on.
I was looking at vehicle parts where it's going up, and tell me your actual, your estimate was almost 14 on that, you got 15 in there. Same there. Well, that's about 35,000 right there, isn't it? Numbers that are on there.
Well, that doesn't include the wall or the sheet, that does it.
That lists some.
Just take some of it out.
Yeah, take 10 out of that.
And that maintenance and repair equipment, I don't think cutting that is a good idea based on the historical data on it for actual. And what I just caution the committee to, not cut anything that you know almost certainly will spend, has to come back later on and pull out some balance.
That's kind of what I was talking about, this chute and wall, you know, it's not gonna be hopefully every year type thing. If I'd rather have that come out of fund balance than something like you're talking about right now that you know is gonna be every year, you've got to have maintenance on vehicles and everything else.
And you shoot your wall, it may be, I'm not real sure, Brad, it may be considered under capital purchases where you can use money from a grant or something else. Am I right?
Capital maintenance through the funds come from the state next year.
That's what I was talking about earlier, is maybe setting it aside, put it, using that money for
I mean,
that.
I don't want to take out fund balance, but I'd rather do that than something that you know you're gonna have to come back. You know, you can't do without maintenance to these trucks, because if you don't, then we're not,
Well, that goes back to the line we just cut on the equipment and machinery parts. So how many new vehicles,
I've got 5 trailers, 6 trailers now. I've got 6 trailers now, 2 box trailers.
Yeah.
That we didn't have last year.
But the machinery, basically just cut it down to basically what you run for this year.
Yeah, the vehicle for the 370 equipment line, I agree with Brad, I'd add that $10,000 back in there, make that 12. That's what the bottom line. Leave that where it's at, because estimated this year, 47,370. Yeah. I mean, that's gonna be low anyway. I'll leave that alone. And that's what I was, like, in the back wall, taking the $10,000 out of the building maintenance repair line, and then offsetting that with some of those monies, some of the governor put $100,000, those capital ones. And then I would recommend doing the same thing to the chute repair out of the other capital while it's long. I would rather see that. I would rather see these monies go for big projects. You know, projects that have to be done, right? As opposed to them just kind of, well, we use 1,000 here, well, we use 2,000 here, well, before you know it's all gone. At least we can say, hey, you know, we're not gonna have to touch this again for, you know, 15, 20 years by the end of the land. We have to do something different.
That could have been 25,000.
Out of the equipment line, it put it to $40,000.
No, I mean, from what we were deducting.
For 35, go back to
35, get that 10 back.
And if it was those capital.
Thirty back to 25 though.
25,
Right,
whatever.
that's what I'm saying.
Here, let's do this.
You put the 10 back. 25.
7/18, I have $5,000 in my truck, we'll take that out.
5,000,
That's what I added right here, I thought, yeah.
gotcha. What you gonna get for
Well,
5,000?
they take a, I mean,
Oh,
she
okay.
take a,
Okay. I was thinking big truck, I should be used to.
So they start looking into your shop.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
We're gonna be able to take any out of it, 79900, or just staying at 15?
Capital outlay.
Yeah.
I tell you what. Leave me $5,000 in there to start working on this law with. I'll go from there.
Okay, we talking about 799.
000.
So you're taking 10 out.
34.
Yeah, I'm at 40.
40, yeah.
I mean, and the truck line right there, we were talking about what we just took out. If something comes up, we keep an eye on it, you see one that's possible. If you need one, something breaking down, I'm sure you could use one right now. But that's something we could address if necessary.
322, so is that?
Yeah, we're in total. 60. That gives you 2 positions still.
I thought this was supposed to be big. The image as of right now is 406,000. You've got proposed 525. And there was an increase of $219,000. Basically, shouldn't that be offset? You said the other night we were making $10 a ton on the city. Should that not be, that number not reflect the offset of that cost?
That may be a question Brad has to answer there, I don't,
As far as the 406 goes for amendment 1920, there's an amendment coming up that's going to bump that up to 525, which is what it's going to be for this year. And actually, the 525 for 2021 probably could stand to be a little higher. But I think that can go up each year.
our cost does, yes, sir, and so, and the cities will as well to kind of offset the way ours goes up, because our prices goes up over there. It creeps up a little bit each year for the next 5 years.
We're comfortable if we take that 40 out of the total expenditures appropriations. Accept that. We'll keep working guess we can sit here and examine this thing all night, and we don't have to make a vote on it, I don't guess, tonight, but I think he's done plenty of cuts and worked hard on it the whole time, so I don't.
Third time.
Or the fourth time I know I took stuff out of it.
But we know you're trying to be fair, trying to keep your place running and doing all that, and it sounds like you need the help, like, we're just thinking how we can offset that, and make it, to where you can get with those people with a few cuts, so.
And with the full-time person, what I want to try to do is, we can't process everything that comes in there in an 8-hour shift. So basically, I'm gonna try to run a second shift to be able to process what's coming in there. But we can't process it in 8 hours.
They're getting backed up.
Yeah, that's the reason for the full-time employee there. So, you know, as long as the sheriff's department will let us have inmates for 2 shifts, we're gonna try to run 2 shifts in order to make it, we can process it, move it out, keep it going.
We need to operate the best we can as part of that, is generating some money for us.
Vinnie, would you ever be away with part-timers rather than full-timers?
Who is that guy right there?
There may have been an incident, that's all I'm gonna say. Is it possible that you can get away with, part-timers rather than full-timers? I know that people want to work full-time and that sort of thing, but there's a lot of people that are unemployed and are looking for pretty much anything they can get their hands on too.
And the only thing about part-timers is they're good people, good employees. If they'll stay with you till they get something that's got benefits and they're gone. And you got to start the process over again, training them. Yeah, they just don't stay long.
Thanks. Aaron, you're welcome to pull up a chair over here if you like.
I'm very welcome to go on recess on this with you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Or that's somebody part-time.
Well, and the environment the folks work in, it's not the best environment in the world, I can tell you.
I can open it up for a motion if you're comfortable with that, or
What do we plan to do for grant money? That's something we're gonna set aside with the grant money? Do we recognize the revenue in this budget or take it out and do a budget and recognize it?
There's the wall and the sheet.
And guys, that's an estimate from me. We've never replaced it, so, you know, what I'm hoping is we can do some of it in-house and not have to,
just gonna need new sheeting.
do
things like
metal
that.
sheeting. The chute will need to be fabricated because of the way it, goes around the truck, so. And a welder ain't cheap, they're about $45 an hour. Get somebody come and weld.
You can't do that.
No, I can't.
Last time I was up there, you was on the dozer, so I know you do the best you can up there. Keep it moving. We appreciate it.
Could that potentially be a field trip for Cleveland High School? Okay.
Or maybe a potential partnership with the DCAP welding program?
Yes, but the only thing about it is, during school we're operating, you can't even walk through there when we're operating, much less try to weld, as far as at the transfer station. So that's gonna have to be done on Saturday, Sunday when we're closed. When there's no trash or catch on fire, it's gotta be cleaned up so that they can, you know, when you weld, so you're not throwing sparks and stuff like that. So that stuff like that'll have to be done either after hours or on Saturdays and Sundays when we're not there.
We don't want another incident.
Had some tough luck there lately.
Benny, how much do you think we could maybe increase to help cover some of these costs? I mean, you know, we're looking at $300,000 increase this year.
And in order to still be in the ballpark with the rest of these folks that's doing it, I don't see much more than $1.25 per ton. Because if you get much further out of that, you know, they're gonna start figuring their fuel cost to, you know, gas is cheaper right now, so they can make the trip, so.
Seems like we gotta put all our hope in the recycling center.
The recycle center and the demolition is what makes that place money. Your transfer station, I don't think it will ever make money because you have to pay another landfill to take it to that facility. Plus you have to transport it there. So I don't ever foresee the transfer station making money. Just the simple fact of the way you have to do it. You've got to pay somebody to load the trailers. You've got to pay somebody to drive the trailers. And you got to pay them to get rid of it.
And we're 10 miles away from.
Johnson City landfill, we're about 10 miles, 20 miles on the other landfill, but they were cheap.
When we working down, y'all comfortable with when we revise there, try to move forward with this? I know it's tough to see, but I think it's going to help him go on with what he needs. So maybe not, and is there more?
I don't know how much you can cut. Other than 2 employees, and then you can cut your legs off for making money in the recycling center, so.
Well, I tell you, I've cut some of this stuff, and honestly, I ain't comfortable with cutting, but I have.
That's what I'm saying, I don't know where else.
You know, I just ain't comfortable with the way that the day-to-day operations go. I know what it takes to make it work. Some of this stuff I'm not comfortable with. That's what I told Brad when I cut it. I may have to come back and ask him.
I'll make a motion to accept his budget as currently stands. $205,025 under the transfer. Is that right, Brad?
Yeah.
What was your total?
We'll be transferring in $205,025 from the general fund.
I'll second.
I think I'm being started, it's about what, 800,000 now or something?
Yes,
So
he's right.
he's really come down almost $750,000.
And if the revenues do come in above what's estimated here, then the transfer from the general fund, of course, will be less.
All right, we got a motion by Travis Hill, second by Eric Frazier. Further discussion for the vote.
So like Kevin, I mean, this has been cut. I don't see anywhere it's cut. Bet you could.
I did take all the raises for everybody else, took all that out, so all that's gone.
I think this might be an easier pill to swallow if the conditions were a whole lot different too.
Oh, I totally understand.
Because, you know, we are talking about a landfill and dumpster fire is what we might be looking at next year, so.
All right. Isaiah, if you'll call the roll for us, please.
Willie Campbell,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Yes.
Mark Tester. No. Isaiah Grindstaff. Aye. Ross Garland. Aye. Travis Hill. Aye. Aaron Frazier. Aye. Kelly Collins.
Yes.
7 ayes, 1 no.
Motion carries, Benny. Thank you.
Folks, I appreciate you very much.
Working with us right here in this. Thanks for working with us.
Hey, Aaron, you want a trade? Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, if you want to start, general fund, I do think we can move pretty quick on some of those. If you want to do this, so that might be a good place to start. We got outside agencies, that's check. And I guess about page. Yeah, there. Okay, we can do this. Page 14, working its way down right there. We can do that, or if it's best to turn to each one of those pages. I don't know what's easier for you guys as far as this going down the line right there. Page 21 would be the first one, I think, as far as county commissions. Line. I don't know what's easier for you guys to look at page 14. It just shows the budget total on the far right, or if you want to look at line by line. I think maybe it might be best to follow page 14 if you have a discrepancy or a question or something like that. Then we can turn to the line if you think it needs some adjustments or to revisit. So county commission stands at budgeted at $114,948. Motion to approve that. Motion by Hill, here second.
Second.
Second by Patty Woodby. Discussion. Isaiah, call it. When you're ready.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Yes. Isaiah Grindstaff. Aye. Ross Garland. Aye. Travis Hill. Aye. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Kelly Collins.
Aye.
8 ayes.
Motion carries. The next department, Board of Equalization, budgeted at $6,203. That is on page 21 as well. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Frazier. Any discussion? Call the roll.
What, wait a minute, what, there was 8,000,
Board of Equalization.
40125. Looks like I never budgeting and legal notices.
That is on page 21 as far as the line.
yeah, I'm just trying to see what they were that long.
I think that's because it's reappraisal year, then they're gonna have a lot of advertised.
Everyone told me I not for the life of me remember exactly what it was for. I think it was paid out of, assessor's office before, it need to be down there.
Didn't we combine them with the Board of Equalization Assessors? Didn't we combine them with the budget?
We combined assessor and reappraisal.
All right. You're ready.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland.
Aye.
Travis Hill. Aye. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Kelly Collins.
Aye.
8 ayes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next, county mayor budget. On page 22. Budget 258,620. And then you can see that she's cut almost 15,000.
About the only increase in state mandated rates, right?
Make motion to approve.
Second.
Have a choice on that.
Motion by Collins, second by Willie Campbell. Discussion.
I want to clarify one thing, I guess, as we're going along here. These categories that have salaries, you know, the amount in it for pensions, which is line item 204, is using that 3.89 contribution rate for TCRS.
Yeah, I meant to mention that before we got it being exactly it. Are everyone comfortable with that before we get moving forward on this? That's the 3.89. We talked different number before. I mean, what's presented here has that 3.89% in there, correct, Brad?
I mean, does it really make a difference, Brad? I mean, whether it's sitting in TCRS bank account or in our bank account? I mean, if it goes up next year, we just drag it out of it.
And the school department has already passed their budget too, and they use that 3.89 in their budget.
So we're kind of stuck with it already.
Unless, you know, schools go back and do it again, but that's entirely up to y'all.
I call a couple counties and that's what they're doing too. So.
Yeah.
Well, I spoke to the TCRS and he said several counties across the state were doing the same thing.
All right, thanks for that clarification, Brad. Okay, I think we have a motion in the second, I believe, didn't we?
Yep.
You got that?
Motion by Kelly Collins, second by Willie Campbell.
All right. Ready?
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland.
Aye.
Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Kelly Collins.
Aye.
8 ayes.
Carries. Next line, county attorney. If Ronnie was here with us, he'd have a joke for this, for sure. I don't think Josh.
God bless him.
We're paying you enough, aren't we? Something like that. So you'd say.
Josh is online with
Yeah.
any questions.
Is it just basically because we had working on more stuff, Brad?
Excuse me?
Is the legal service charge because we had working on more stuff, charging? Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Grindstaff. Discussion.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Yes. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland.
Aye.
Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Kelly Collins.
Aye.
8 ayes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Election Commission, next line. On page 24. And I don't see Tracy in the audience, and I don't know if she on there. Abby,
She sent out an email to everyone.
Oh, did she?
Yeah,
I didn't see.
explaining quite a bit of things. Pretty intense.
Was it?
And she texted before the meeting saying she was having trouble trying to get.
Yeah, I think that's why she emailed the big email.
What, I know we questioned that 6,000 for, I guess, office equipment or something like that, didn't we? She did. Yeah, I didn't see the email. I'm working and I don't have it.
Here you go, I've got it.
It looks like it's still in here.
It says, I know I've asked for an increase in next year's budget due to 2 elections, but there has been 2 lawsuits filed at state level requesting for everyone to be entitled to vote by mail. The state realizes the burden on the county this will be and is helping with the grant, see below. So this helps tremendously with the increase I've asked for. If this law passes, I will need extra office help and laptops and scanners to process the mail-in ballots. The state election office is going to furnish gloves, masks, shields, and gowns for all the poll workers for both elections to help with the COVID-19 stress. I hope this helps with not meeting. Travis contacted me and asked if I could cut my budget some, but at this point, with the 2 lawsuits filed, my hands are kind of tied and may go into the red as it is. You know, if you have any questions, first lawsuit's going to be held on May 28, 2020.
All right, thank you. So she took that out, you guys said, or no, it's still there?
The thing to note about that, if you look at last year and year prior, I mean, 5490 and 58, you're right at it. Yeah. You can't take all of the money out of your office.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I thought it was an increase for some reason.
Yeah, I thought it was too, though.
How we got to that, but I guess not. All right, we know she's got elections. She's got more elections. And that's, we got all those deals.
Motion to approve.
Yeah.
Second.
Motion by Patty Woodby, second by Mr. Frazier. Discussion. You ready?
Just a vote. All right. Election Commission motion was from Patty Woodby, second Mr. Frazier. Willie Campbell. Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Yes. Isaiah Grindstaff. Aye. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier. Kelly Dodd. 8 ayes.
Motion carries. I'll get us to register of deeds, next line. And 404780, he's got, budget is decreased by $9,500 from last year.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Frazier, second by Woodby. Discussion.
Brian, I do have a question on medical insurance. I know an employee decided to pick up health insurance. Isn't health insurance about $7,000 a year?
72.
Okay, I just want to know, only $6,000 interest, I don't know why they. Somebody leaving early or?
Okay, looking at it to be basically the same this year. I mean, next year is this year. No, as far as I know, there's no change in any participation in the insurance plan.
Okay.
All right, anything else? I'll roll there, I think.
Willie Campbell. Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier. Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
All right, planning department. Next one, that'll get us, that's page 26, I guess. 26 and 27 both. Chris is here with us. Come on up there, Chris. Okay, thanks for coming.
No problem.
Yeah.
Three things I need to say. One is, remember, we operate off more or less budget, this budget is working on.
Chris, I'm gonna need you to speak up.
I apologize, Abby, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, one thing is, we're operating off the prior year budget. We didn't get any increases that we requested last year. Second thing is that, you know, I can take it before my board, because it has to go before them, which is in 2 weeks. And third thing is, I wasn't aware how much y'all want to cut, so if you get an idea, I'll go back and rework it. Somebody would told me I would have been more happy with the axe to it. So,
let's see. Could have mentioned that to you before.
yeah, it would have been nice. But anyway, you know, I'm looking at some things, you know, we're looking back to contract with First Tennessee Development District. They actually got a planner that's been there for 1.5 years now. But that's 14,000. It's actually 14,100 is what the contract would come in. So it's $400 less anyway.
And then that's for what exactly, Chris?
That's contract planning services. They're supposed to give you support. They don't have anyone over there that don't have mapping or anything like that. Yeah. And that's another thing, my part-time, I hired a mapper, working on his, master's degree. I kept him for about 3 weeks, and another county got him. Kind of like the other one we had contracted years ago, and good old, Food City got him first, and turned around and Johnson City Power Board got him.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes, sir. That's great. I can go back and hatch this. When's your all next meeting, Mr. Chairman?
We don't have anything after this. We'll have full commission, but not until it'll be June, until we need it in, as far as. That's all I know of.
Give me an idea of what you want.
Well, I mean,
105, that was took on, would that make anybody happy?
I think it pretty much all raises the increases. Everybody else has cut those.
What about our GIS guy? We will hire full time?
Well, what are you looking at as far as employees? How many? 2?
No, I'm cut it down to 1, take it to, and get rid of part-time. And then spread that money between the other 4.
I think the additional help is kind of the main question there.
Chris, in one of your last meetings.
I'm sorry.
I was thinking one of your last meetings, I wanted to see what do you want another inspector?
Yeah, that would be the increase, of course, I cross-train on my team, so if, somebody out for a week, you know, or whatever, somebody else can step in. I mean, I'm a firm believer in the military, you cross-train people, you know what you're 2 ahead of you and 2 behind you're supposed to do. Right now, I'm utilizing part-time. I've got an employee that, has had some major, things going on medically, so, I had hired somebody to answer the phone to take care of that, after losing my GIS guy. But I can go back and beat this to death and present it to my board this next meeting and see y'all in June.
Yeah,
Or you can give me a rough idea what you want to cut, and I can cut it this way and take it back and forth and see. You give me a round number, I'll be more happy to meet that. Try to.
I know you got some money in there for certifications, I remember hearing that.
The 17,000.
I'm not sure, I just remember you talking about.
Yeah, that'll be on line item, 189, that's an increase of 17K, and that is for incentive raises, right, for my inspectors.
I don't have anything for it, I personally, I've been pushing for that, and finance and everything, so I don't have an issue with that, I don't know about everybody else, but.
Planning commission, we wrote it up and we had to hash it for a couple of meetings, and then we came up to happy meeting. But, I think it's a good thing.
The financial management committee has started discussions on coming up with a county-wide policy on stipends, or whatever you will call it, for certifications. But we hadn't met in a couple of months, so there's been no progress on that. They are aware of it, and they have discussed it.
What about communications on 307?
Yeah, that's where my inspectors, instead of using their own personal cell phone, they want to start using county phones.
How many would that be?
That'd be 3. I'm not going to the smartphone, I'm going to say my plan.
Of anybody in your department, you need to. Your flip phone, your ancient.
Which is exactly where these smartphones come. But anyway, long story short, you know, when you have contractors calling these guys, and like Kenny said, you know, we're not supposed to work 6 days a week. Sometimes there's a call for Monday morning during the week, you look at 8 o'clock on Saturday night. Or 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon when I turn my phone back on. Work, so, you know, look at it.
How did you come up with that amount for 3 cell phones?
That's for the cell phones, and what I did was took what Ronnie Taylor's got, so we're all on the same plan as Sprint, and then I just multiplied it in there. So that brings us in. That's not counting, that's the service itself. You know, I might have to meter that in to 1 cell phone this year, and we can increase or maybe 2, and then because phones are ridiculous, especially with class-based things you got here.
I'll ask a crazy question because I live in the city. A lot of times they'll give them like $30 stipend to use their own phone. Is that something?
That's something that we never did here, but I've done in other places, and it works out really well. But the only bad thing is, like my code enforcement guy, he's out in the field, and these people aren't there to use the cell phone to call them to get them to come out of the house. Then it does nothing, and it's aggravating. Right. I'll let some of you select the individuals, listen to some of the personnel I get from irate, eager individuals.
What about the $11,000 increase or $10,900 increase on travel?
That is send my people to their schools. They have to have continued education credit. Most of them are in Austin. So that's the closest one they'll ever get as far as ICC. Quite a few of them are in Belleville, down below Murfreesboro, west of Murfreesboro.
So that would include mileage, once they take the county vehicle.
Right, well, we got that vehicle now, thank you all. And, so they'll be taking their own, unless, you know, it's a strange situation or something like that, they'll be taking the county.
Well, have any of the classes been postponed for COVID-19 right now?
Yeah, and we're supposed to have a Zoom meeting today, with the Tennessee Stormwater Association on some stuff that Tennessee Department of Environmental Conservation and the EPA is doing. And, it cut us off, it wouldn't let us join in. We tried from our cell phone, we tried from the office phone naturally, and we tried from our own personal cell phone, and it was filled up. So Zoom is only so zoomy when it's working correctly.
Less than 100 people.
Yeah.
Could we ask that you look at that and gauge it against what meetings will be, that you know you will be having to travel to, once you find that out?
According to, as soon as the governor released the state, probably looking at a whole lot of bam meetings where, you know, some of the stormwater stuff's up this way. Sometimes we get a little bit of stuff here in Johnson City, but most of it's not. And, myself, I'll drive to Thompson. It's a 2-day meeting, I'll drive, go to the meeting, drive back home, and turn around and drive again. But, you know, I've got some younger people that work for me, and they don't feel like driving like that. I'd rather sleep on the bed.
Does the county have a policy on that? Seems like we worked up some type of policy
So, I'm sorry.
on travel from distances and staying overnight.
It was revised,
They can
I can't remember the details, if you need, I'm
It has to
full
be
of.
so many miles,
I think it's over.
over so many miles. a
Over
week.
100.
Yeah.
I know we'd redone it. Commissioner wanted to stay extra night or something, but I can't remember the details.
What dues and memberships are you at?
American Planners Association, Tennessee Association of Planners, Professional Planners, Tennessee Association of Stormwater Association, National Stormwater, a bunch of stuff that I used to carry myself that I quit carrying. So now we've got these other employees and let them, start carrying. The amount of money they make, they don't feel like it's sufficient for them to get the additional information. A lot of those associations give you a lot of good information, especially about legislation getting ready to come through, go change programs like the stormwater or something of that nature. International Code Council, State Association of Building Inspectors, there's several of them.
Chris, what is the value of the macro bring to the planning office?
If you remember, I don't know if you were in that meeting, I know Ms. Woodby was, I'm pretty sure, but yeah, I had set aside the meeting. Don't think Ms. Collins was there, but we had the meeting with the city and the county at the health department. I think you were there. The city said definitely they're wanting to do the GIS. And when it says macro, it's GIS employee. Graphic information system, and also AutoCAD, and they'll also really run a GPS survey with great we have here. I can do it. I'm not planning on being here long enough to try to get it set up so when I leave, just seamless. That's one other reason the planning commission want to get the First Tennessee Development District back in line. So, does that answer your question, sir? I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, what do they actually do?
Okay.
I'm not sure what they do.
Okay, right now, I mean, the easy things, like the beer board, right? When I said beer board's package, I'm sure you've seen those. I've worked with, TBI, the Lisbon, Police Department on a couple of cases they've had and actually map those out for them so they can take them to court, work on zoning maps, and work on developmental maps as far as what we have, tiger file wise, as far as, areas of concern with, census and things of that nature. So there's a lot of stuff that comes through there. We actually were doing mapping up until we started losing employees so fast. Every new structure was actually getting GPS in Carter County. So 911 will give them that data and get it straight away. Then also every year we have to increase percentile put in, have to shoot it in, there's drains and stormwater. So there's multiple things they can do, and multiple things they have to do, and maintain the LiDAR images.
I mean, I'm gonna say this truthfully, it's not a bad budget this year, it really isn't. Just if you could help us out on a few things, and maybe look into the travel maybe, on that one, and then I don't know, on the communication, if that could be adjusted any little bit, that would be great.
I'm writing notes.
Just have an open mind.
Yeah, I
What
mean-
we're saying, really. I know that, but.
We need some help, and
And we've had, about everybody that's came to us before, they worked really hard on this. I know you guys worked this up before, kind of things were, kind of went south as far as the pandemic deal. So, and we're just trying to keep everything as tight as we can. As lean as we can, Chris, just any kind of increases really, if you can really analyze those.
I agree with Travis, I agree on rewarding people for getting extra certification. not just with your office, but any of the county offices. We've got some girls in our office that are doing extras for certifications. I know the assessor's office, Randall's office, so I agree with that. That incentive is helpful. So.
On the incentive, we can both leave that in there. Is there any way that you can not get that out before we set a firm policy?
We have our policy already set this past month.
Okay, I didn't know if that needed to be like a financial management policy for instance, where we would deal with you and every department head.
I don't know how that's gonna work.
I'm not sure, I think Chairman Johnson's on it, I'm not sure how.
You know, if they do a UT course or a CPAS course in public administration or whatever, public good not, you know, yeah, but I mean, as far as the planning, ICC and all that stuff, you know, it's kind of a nucleus kind of situation.
The GIS maintenance agreement, is that?
Actually, with Ezra and
That's just said.
unfortunately, our NPS, DS, that's kind of set too. There's several of them set. I did say it's on our bus grant.
Well, save any way you can. That's what we're asking, and we don't want.
That's only two, Ms. Wood.
I mean, that's what I think it is.
Anybody else, give me some ideas, we'll look at it. That's first in developed district, yes, sir.
I mean, hey,
This year,
you know, we're looking at pretty lots of revenue.
well, to be honest with you, I was looking at it real hard myself.
And basically what they kind of do is, you correct me, she basically comes and if something happens to you, she kind of keeps the plan come together, kind of.
Yeah, and they also have some, you know, they did some research and stuff. I've been handling that. I mean, it would be nice, now that we have somebody there that can be utilized, instead of having 4 different people in less than 2 years. No, excuse me, 7 different people in less than 3 years. But, you have no continuity there, they don't have a clue what you're doing, they sure ain't going to understand Clark County. No, Rhonda was there, and then they had about, they kept Rhonda for 3 years, and then they went to that big cluster of terrible things. Yeah, but I'll look at that, I've got 3 things right here, guys.
Well, don't just take 3. Look
No,
at
yeah, right.
I know, but we don't,
Line out of the.
I mean, really, of course, Kelly's on there with you. She knows she can bring it back to you. You got it.
Kelly will help you go through it.
I would like to see it.
I will go through it, me and the chairman, sit down Monday, and, because right now we've got Clipper lease, I should be out there working on the park, but anyway, if anybody wants to, don't look at it tomorrow, it looks like crap right now. But, anyway.
We know this was before everything hit. I mean, and it's not like nobody doesn't want to give people raises when they go back and get their certifications. I mean, I don't know of anybody that doesn't, agree with that, but this is, going to be a super up here. And next year.
I'll take that into account, I promise you.
But we don't want another last year because that was tough on everybody. That still is needs folks, but, and this doesn't look too bad, but just work with us. And we should have come to you before, I mean, try to.
That's fine. I've been letting I can walk much.
Feel like I'm not sure.
Kept in the dark and fed.
Yeah.
But anyway, long story short, yeah, we'll come through. I'll sit down with the chairman, I'll hash on this on Saturday night. I get some more time.
Yeah, just see what you can do for us, Chris, as you go with this.
And then I'll email Ms. Collins, so she won't be sweating on it.
When you guys meet at the end of this month, is that right?
Yes, sir. Or Tuesday, I think it's the week after next.
Okay.
Yeah.
you're right, you're right.
Aaron, did you find the owner of that dog?
No, never did. I just tied the leash up on it and let it go, and it took off happy, so I'm assuming it found its way home.
Y'all have a good.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Y'all have a regular budget meeting when? I mean, not a budget, not late.
The regular one will be next June, that's really all, we don't have anything scheduled.
Thank y'all.
Have good. Mhm. Let's see. 28.
Take a break, Chairman.
Brad said, take a break, Chairman.
You all right?
Yeah, Brad Johnson requested.
Brad, what do you need a break for? Let's go.
Hey, this dining table, chairs and everything is worse than that Corinthian leather you're sitting in.